And we're live. Welcome everyone to another show of the Savvy Real Estate Investor. We have today Bryce Robertson. Bryce Robertson is your real estate mate. He's an Aussie born real estate investing entrepreneur, number one international best-selling author, world traveler, and adventurer. Bryce began his investing career with a negative net worth, unseasoned credit, and a mere $2,000 in the bank. Having raised millions of dollars and a culmination of success in mobile home park investing, Bryce lives the freedom trinity of financial, time, and location freedom. Bryce is host to the YouTube channel and video podcast Freedom Hack Radio, co-author of 10,000 Miles to the American Dream. He writes weekly articles for Bigger Pockets and has a number one top-selling mobile home park investing and capital raising home study courses. Bryce, welcome to the show.
Hey, Satch, thanks for having me, brother.
Dude, I was telling you just prior to the show, I've been wanting to get you on the show because your story is pretty awesome, and I think you are the living proof of where most people want to get to, just because of the freedom trinity that you have on your bio, right? This financial time, and location freedom. Um, the first thing I want us to go over is if you can bring us sort of like touch where you are right now and bring us back to the journey. Pretty interesting to know like how you went from having a negative net worth to where you are right now.
Yeah, so I suppose, where we are right now, collectively, our inner circle investment group is involved in about $250 million of investments. So that's where we are currently right now. Going back and winding the clock, to start off with, my name's Bryce Robertson, born, raised in Australia, grew up in Brisbane, around about that area. Got to near the end of high school and realized there's no way I'm going to university. I just wasn't vibing it. I wasn't liking the education system. I didn't see myself having a future in that area. So I went out there. I wanted to get active. I wanted to work. I wanted to make as much money as I could, but I had no business or entrepreneurial influences in my life at that time because nobody was in my life that had those skills. So I went out there and made a decision. I thought I was making the best decision to get the highest paying blue collar job. So I got an apprenticeship as a steel fabricator welder. So I did a 3-year apprenticeship, 5-year apprenticeship in 3 years. And then I went out to the underground gold mines in Western Australia to earn the big bucks because you work out there 12, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, 8 weeks on, 1 week off, and earn sort of the best money you can earn in Australia doing that kind of thing. So I did that for 2 years, working in the mines in Western Australia, Northern Territory. And then in my early 20s, I had a dream that I wanted to travel the world for 6 years. Now, I'd saved up a little chunk to get started. So here's how I did it. I went over, I set up a base camp in London, England, and that's where I worked and earned my money. And I would work 8, 10, 12 hours a day, 5 to 7 days a week for a couple of months at a time, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 months, then go traveling through Europe. Pretty much till my money ran out. And then I would come back, work again, then go to Africa. And I did that whole UK, Europe, and Africa cycle for 3 years. Then after that, I wanted to change the scenery. I went from 12 million people in London to a small ski village that had 5,000 people. The ski village is called Fernie in British Columbia, Canada, up in the Rockies, because I wanted to go for a snowboarding season. But then I got there, loved the place, and found out that they had some coal mines just down the road. So I started a little gig out in the coal mines. And then next thing you know, I stayed there for 2 years. And when I wasn't working, I was firefighting, downhill mountain biking, snowboarding, or doing some kind of outdoor mountainous activities. And because I was so engrossed with my lifestyle there, I didn't really travel anywhere through that 2-year period, which enabled me to save an even bigger chunk of cash this time so I could go on an 18-month surfing and scuba diving trip down in Central and South America. And in the last 6 months of that surfing and scuba diving tour, that's where I met my wife, who's a native from California. So 13 years ago, my wife and I came to California to, start life here. And when I came here, we made an agreement. We wanted to recreate this freedom lifestyle, except this time, number one, we wanted to do it without our money running out while we're traveling. And number two, so our money's expanding and growing while we're living this type of freedom lifestyle. So in the beginning, we looked at the three main ways we can make big bucks, and that's owning a business, real estate, and the stock market. I believe cryptocurrencies fits in the stock market category, but 13 years ago, that wasn't really much of a thing. So in the beginning, in those three categories, my wife and I chose about 7 different side hustles to work on. And we were just going to see whatever's going to stick. But after a little while, nothing was sticking. I was having mediocre success. I was spread thin. Felt like I was spinning plates, and I realized I need to stop, take a step back, and choose one thing to laser focus on and put all of my energy into one thing. Now, at the time, I knew it was going to be real estate because I had a 20-year background in construction and construction management. What was I going to do in real estate? So I looked at all the different ways to make big bucks in real estate. I looked at single family homes, wholesaling, fix and flipping, long-term renting. I looked at self-storage, mobile home parks, multifamily, notes, the whole kit and caboodle. And over and over again, mobile home parks kept popping off the page. Massive supply and demand in favor of mobile home park owners, getting to solve what I believe is America's number one real estate problem, which is the need for affordable housing. High cash flows, excellent tax benefits, larger returns than the other asset classes in real estate, and very little competition. So I was in. Once I made that decision, 3 months later, I got my first mobile home park under contract. But when I got that park under contract, I wasn't in the position to get the deal across the finish line myself because I had a negative net worth. I had $2,000 in the bank, and I had unseasoned credit because I hadn't been in the States long enough. So I leaned out to my family and friends. I leaned out to my family and friends. Are you still there, bud?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. For some reason, I've completely lost the screen here. So hopefully this can be edited out, but something happened.
Yeah, we can edit it.
And I don't even know where the screen is right now. So let me just try and find that because I'm lost on my computer. Sorry, dude. This is really weird. What is this app called?
StreamYard.
Okay. Literally everything just like disappeared on my computer screen, and all I've got is documents now. I don't even know where to find you.
Click escape like on the keyboard. See if
there we go. I found it. Okay. I don't even know where we were, but I'm going to start off somewhere where they could edit it in pretty well.
Yeah. We left off at you had this mobile home park under contract, but you have no negative net worth.
Yep.
And no credit.
Yep. Yeah. So I got the negative net worth, unseasoned credit, $2,000 in the bank. So then I leaned out to my family and friends because I needed to bring some capital into the deal to get this across the finish line. And I was gracious enough to have a couple of friends join that investment. I think we needed a little under $200,000 to get the deal closed. And then at the same time, I negotiated with somebody through their retirement accounts to provide some private financing so that we could get the deal closed. And then 3 months later, we ended up getting the deal closed. And when that happened, 2 things happened. Number one, I realized I could do way bigger and better things collectively in a group. And number two, I realized there was a massive need for investors to come into deals where I'm doing most of or all of the heavy lifting. And in our space, we call that syndication. So for the next 2.5 years, I rinsed and repeated this syndication model. And then we became financially free. My wife and I retired ourselves. We put ourselves in a position where we no longer had to work because we had to. We only work because we choose to. And it just completely turned my life on its head.
Dude, that's an awesome story. So question about the mobile home park. Did you partner with someone that already knew how to operate the mobile home park, or did you just get some training and figure everything out on your own?
Yeah, the latter. I got some training and I knew enough to know what I needed to do. And then I just had to go through the experience of what I was doing. So yes, I did it myself. I managed the property myself. That was the beginning of my property management company, which now manages our properties. And it was an excellent learning curve, And the interesting thing is even from the beginning, I knew all of the main steps that need to happen through a transaction of purchasing a mobile home park, even managing a mobile home park to get to the sale, because I went out and self-educated myself. But if I actually sat down and tried to figure out how any of that was going to be possible, my brain probably would have exploded and I would have taken myself out. All I did in the beginning was know the next step, dude, is put this thing under contract. So I put it under contract and then, oh, cool. Now we've got this under contract. Next step, do your due diligence and your inspections. Boom. What's the next step after that? We need capital. You better run out to your family and friends. And so I was kind of like flying by the seat of my pants, but all I worried about was what's the next step and how can I conquer that next step?
Dude, that's an excellent point, man. I think a lot of people end up not doing things because they try to think everything through all the way to the end. And there's just so many variables of things that can go wrong that there's just, to me, it's almost pointless to even think through the whole thing, right? Like it's okay to have an idea, but you should just take action and think, okay, what's the next step or what's the next two steps, right? And get working on that. So, dude, I love that you did that. Were any of your family and friends hesitant about lending the money since you had no track record?
But the interesting thing, I didn't have a track record. And at that point, people, as much as they may have believed in the investment, really they had to believe in me. And I think that really goes for any investment that we're passively investing in. We need to really, really trust the person who's operating the deal, because a good operator can take a poor quality investment and make it perform really well. But an average operator can take a really good investment and just do a very mediocre job, or maybe not even a good one. So yeah, when I did that deal, really, I didn't have a track record in real estate. It was really the friends that ended up joining were friends of my wife's. They're actually like high school friends and their family. And they bought into my wife, knowing that she's a very trustworthy person, and then into the fact that my wife has a lot of faith in me. So it was almost like faith in my wife, and then my wife's faith in me, the reason that they invested. So that was one piece of it. To talk about like the expectations on returns, one of them actually wanted to invest because they wanted more than 12% annual returns. And the other one wanted to invest because they wanted to support me and give me an opportunity, because they had had a lot of challenges in life. And it wasn't very often that people gave them an opportunity. So it was super important that they gave me an opportunity. So it was kind of a few things at play at the time there.
Dude, awesome. The so this sort of loops back to me to wonder what's next for you. You got there, you achieved the financial freedom goal. What's next?
Yeah, that's a interesting question. I mean, we're expanding and building our business. So, we're buying a lot of mobile home parks and self-storage facilities. We're locking in even stronger relationships that we have with our joint venture partners. We're providing more and more deals to our investment group. Really, I'm in a position where I don't even have to do this anymore. My wife and I can easily live out the woods. We don't need to rely on anybody else. We don't need other people to do deals. I don't even have to be in the media. I could just completely be doing my own thing. But once I created financial freedom and I looked at 20 years that I had in the construction industry and my position in it, I didn't feel like I was in a good position. I felt like a slave. I didn't like what I did. I didn't have much to show at the end of it. And then I look at financial freedom, took 2.5 years, loved doing it. My life's been astronomically awesome since. And so I became really compelled to share that with people and help people go and recreate their version of freedom, so they can live their version of the lifestyle I'm living. And so that's why I started my podcast, Freedom Hack Radio. That's why we host Financial Freedom Mastery, where we spend 2 days with our students literally creating their own financial freedom strategy plan based off their personalized and customized circumstances, needs, and resources and goals. And, because we really, really committed to helping other people recreate what we've already created. So really what I'm excited about and what drives me and the whole centric focus around all of the arms of our business is helping other people create financial freedom or expand their wealth because of a few reasons. Number one, when you're financially free, you no longer have to make decisions off necessity and need. So now you're coming from your heart and soul, and to make decisions from your heart and soul is a completely different place. So that's an amazing thing. Another thing is whenever anybody joins Inner Circle private investment group, one of the questions we ask them is, what's your number one reason why, your big motivating why behind why you're doing this that has nothing to do with money? And usually time freedom comes up, or something to do with, well, I want to spread my seed in the world and I want to build a church, or I want to go build schools in third world countries, or some kind of thing like that, where they want to spread their seed on the world and make the difference they want to make. And when we're financially free and beyond, we can actually do those things. We have the financial backing to make those decisions and make the difference in the world that we truly want to see. And that's really what it's about. It's really, none of this is about money. It's all about freedom. It's about, what can we do? How can we make decisions when we're financially free? And how are we going to spend our time? And how are we going to spend our money when we're financially free? And that really is what makes a big difference. And that's what's got us most excited. So the more people we can touch through our investment group, through our trainings, through anything that we do, I mean, it's my life's mission, dude. So that's really what fulfills me.
I love it, man. It's interesting how things change, right? I think a lot of people hear the word and the term financial freedom, and they think that when you get there, then you just lay on the couch forever. And I feel the people that end up getting to that point are not people that tend to lay in the couch forever.
Yeah, prime example of that and how the Freedom Trinity works in our life. Back in 2019, my wife and I went on a 3-week surfing trip in Costa Rica. We were also going to look for some potentially buying some backpackers hostels and some real estate down there. But we got a couple of days into it and we just thought, it's not the environment we really were looking for. We were looking for something a little bit different. So my wife ended up getting tickets for us to go down to Chile, South America. So the next thing you know, we're down in Chile, South America for 3 months, spontaneously traveling around. We went to a whole bunch of different countries there, hiking in the mountains in Patagonia, jungle missions in the Amazon, we surfing in Brazil, Michelin star restaurants in Argentina. It was an amazing time. But then after 3 months in South America, we went over to Europe because my wife found good price tickets over to Paris. And she's like, come on, you can go over. You can go surfing over there. Funny thing is, I never ended up surfing because we were traveling so much, but we spent another 3 months in Europe. So a 3-week trip spontaneously turned into a 6-month, 20-country world tour. While we did that, we launched our book, launched new investments. I worked less than 4 hours a week, which proved the we're living the Freedom Trinity lifestyle of financial time and location freedom. But the reason I'm bringing this up is around about the 3rd month mark. Once I was 3 months deep on this vacation, freaking amazing, dude. Having the most amazing. We were staying in castles and going to wineries. It was just gorgeous. It was so fun. But after 3 months, as fun as it was and as amazing as it was, my entrepreneurial side of me was burning inside. And by the time I got to the 4-month mark, I started to just like, I'm so impatient. Now I have to start like working more. I wanted to launch more projects. So I completely agree with you. It's not about like going to a secluded island and sipping cocktails for the rest of your life. You might do that for a temporary period to reward yourself, but then we're human beings. We have a mission and purpose on earth here, and we can go out and live that. I think the main point of it is that most people, especially in America, is a perfect example, are not living their dream life. They're compromising on the job they have. They're compromising on even some of the partner they have and the area they live in. But imagine a place where we live where we want to because we want to live there. We're not living there because of a job or anything like that or family. We want to live there because it's aligned with our personality. We create wealth the way that we want to create wealth, and we help people in the manner that we want to help people. And we're designing our life the way that we want to design it. Can you imagine a country or a world full of people that are that fulfilled, that are that spot on with their mission, as opposed to what I'm seeing? A lot of people following somebody else's plan or society's plan for them, and they're living a mediocre life that's partially fulfilled at best.
Yeah, dude, I agree. Bryce, is there, for most of the audience, financial freedom and everything you're speaking right now, it seems so far-fetched to them. Do you have anything special that most people don't have?
Oh, do I know? I don't have anything special. That's the kind of funny thing. Like when I'm teaching my courses, one of the things I'll say is, I'm just a thug from down under. Like there's nothing. I didn't even graduate high school, dude. I dropped out in grade 11 so I could go be a welder. I mean, does that sound like a success story? No, but you can come from anywhere. It's the thing is that what we need to know and understand to become financially free is 3 feet within our reach. It's so close, but our schooling systems hold it away from us. Once we understand what we need to do, I guarantee if you're listening to this podcast or watching this video cast, you can be financially free. You can very reasonably do it in 10 years if you're being very slow. If you're quicker, I believe you could do it in 5 years. And if you really want to fast track it, you could do it in as quick as 2 years.
You did it in how long?
It took 2.5 years. And that was for my wife and I, both of us, to become financially free. I had a full-time job. I all this investing stuff I did on the side, before work, lunchtime, after work, on the weekends. And during that 2.5 year period, I lived a very basic life. You know, we didn't even spend money on like staying at hotels and stuff like that. If we were going somewhere, we would fold down the seats in the Jeep and like sleep in the back of the Jeep with a mattress topper. We weren't buying any clothes or doing anything extravagant. So many people misuse their money. If you want to create financial freedom, live a meager life now, take the actions you need to take, and then in a couple of years, you can do whatever the heck you want.
Yeah, go on there, because and it's important to highlight the difference between like the millionaire next door that is kind of like pinch your pennies to the day you lie and you die with a couple $1 million in the bank, and sacrifice 2 to 3 years of your life so that you can live the rest of your life however you want, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
big difference there. And it's important to note that. Dude, what changed from, because you were traveling the world, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then when you were traveling the world before you had money and financial freedom, you had to always come back, obviously, and get a job again. What changed that you learned? Was it a book that you read? Was it something that you saw, somebody that you aspired, that you were like, man, I want to be like that person? What changed?
Couple of pieces to that. First piece, I believed, and I didn't believe in the past. So here's me. I come home one day, living in Huntington Beach, coming home from my construction job. And I walked up the top of the stairs. I looked my wife in the eye, and she could see I was depleted. I dropped my lunch bag and my tool bag, and she's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I can't do this anymore." I'm like, I'm completely emotionally, psychologically, and physically drained with what I'm doing. I need to do something different. She says, "Yeah, you better do something different because you can't keep coming home like this. I can't have you keep coming home being defeated every day." And I'm like, "Yeah, but what am I going to do? I've spent 17 years building myself in the welding industry. If I'm going to do something new, I have to go out and do 17 years in that new industry because that was the limited way I was thinking." And she actually looked at me and kind of smiled and laughed a little bit and said, "Bryce, you could do whatever you want to do." I'm like, "No, I can't, blah, blah." I had this limiting belief that if I was going to go out and become financially, I didn't even, financial freedom wasn't even on my radar at that point. If I was to go change something, it was going to take me 17 years and I was going to have to do exactly what I did to get to where I am today in that other industry. And she just said, "You can do whatever you want. You want to be a fitness instructor. You want to be the pastor of a church. You want to quit your job today. I'll support you. I just want you to be happy and I want you to do what your heart really believes in." When she said that, it wasn't even that I needed to lean on her and actually like accept that as being, "Yeah, can you like help take care of me through that period?" Because I really took care of myself. We leaned on each other at different points through the process, but just knowing that someone had my back and knowing it was possible, boom, I just went from like this to like, boom, now anything's possible. And then I went to a real estate meeting, heard that people were doing fix and flip deals with no money, and they were teaming up with people who had money, and they were doing the work, and the money partners were bringing in the money and the mentoring. And I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be a scam." And I started asking people around the room, like, "What do you think about what this guy is saying at the front room here? Sounds a bit like snake oily." And they're like, "We just did a deal like that." And then I spoke to somebody else in the room, and next thing you know, 4, 5, 6 people in the room going, "We just did a deal like that." I'm looking at all these people going, "If you guys can do it, I can do it." Done deal. And I think the real catalyst for us as far as like a book, it would definitely be The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind by T. Harbecker. That book literally changed our lives. We ended up, my wife got that book in a $1 bookstore in Long Beach, and she just got cold. She pulled it off the shelf. Don't know why she was magnetically drawn to it. Brought it home. She read it. I read it. We ended up doing trainings with T. Harbecker after that for about 2.5 years, and it just astronomically changed our life.
Wow, awesome! And it shows you the power of mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we're reaching here at the end of the podcast. I just wanted to ask you. I wanted to touch on your book, 10,000
Yeah.
Miles to the American Dream. Can you give us a brief summary, something to that will let us into what the book is about?
Yeah, so basically, there's 8 of us. We're called the Real Estate Mates. We all have a chapter in the book, and really, what it is, we're 8 Australians that came from Australia over to America. We met here in America once we were already established and already financially free through real estate, but we realized that we had achieved it in 8 different ways through real estate. And basically, that's what the book's about. It's our individual stories, and also the asset class or the investment model that we used in the real estate sector, and then we're educating on that piece as well. So basically, it's our story of financial freedom and 8 different ways to get there, with a big umbrella over the top of that, of a knowing, because we've traveled all over the world. I've been to over 60 countries. I've lived in many different places. And I'm telling you, America is definitely the land of opportunities. It's uncompared to anything else on the planet. I've lived in Australia, the UK, Canada, South America. It doesn't, nowhere comes close. So this is the land of opportunities. And that's why you see so many people that come from other countries that come over here and they're like, oh my God, I've never seen an opportunity like this. And then they take massive action. And we want to shake up Americans and be like, guys, there's a really, really amazing opportunity, and it's literally beneath your feet right now. It's out in your backyard. Let us be the catalyst to you taking action on that.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Awesome. I love it. If you have somebody that is wanting to start in syndications, whether passive or active, what would you recommend that they do the first step?
Syndications.
Yeah,
I,
like
I would,
if they
I
just want
would
to invest passively, like with you or anybody else in syndications.
Gotcha. Yeah, they would just reach out to us. Go to our website, investcultivate.com. That cultivate is spelt with the number 8. So that's investcultivate.com. And then when you're on our website, there's plenty of opportunities to reach out to us, which will trigger that conversation between us.
Cool. Awesome. I love it. Hey Bryce, it was awesome having you in the show. We'll put the show notes, those links to the website on the show notes here at the bottom. And is there anywhere else? Never mind. You already gave us your website, so make sure you can reach out. You reach out to Bryce, and Bryce, it was awesome having you today, man.
Yeah, awesome. I'll just add one more thing. If any of you guys are interested in putting together your financial freedom plan, I think I might have mentioned it earlier. We're hosting our Financial Freedom Mastery course live in Asheville, North Carolina, October 15 and 16. And we're doing our virtual course on November 12th and 13. So come join us for 2 jam-packed days where you literally create your financial freedom strategy plan. And it's a really exciting event. Tons of breakthroughs there. You can reach us at freedomtrinity.com to get more information on that.
Dude, love it. We'll add that to the show notes as well. Perfect.
Beautiful.
All right, Bryce. Nice having you, man.
Thanks, Satch. Appreciate it, brother.